Professional male tennis players take secret survey on LGBTQ plus attitudes. About 60 players on the men's professional tennis tour have taken part so far in an anonymous online survey about LGBTQ plus issues that the ATP CEO Massimo Cavelli calls part of a broader initiative to create, quote, an environment for players and staff that is inclusive, that is diverse, and that is very safe and welcoming, end quote. The survey was created after the ATP reached out to Pride Sports, a UK-based group who works to challenge homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia in sport and improve access to sport for LGBTQ plus people. A link to more than 30 questions was emailed to about 500 singles players and 250 doubles players in August, and the tour plans to close the survey at the end of September. ATP spokesman Mark Epps said in a quotation about the survey.
Wow, I think it's good. And I imagine that the fact that it's anonymous will allow players to, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious to see what those findings are, and I'm hopeful.
I didn't realize that homophobia was such a prevalent issue in tennis. I mean, I guess I think about women players, and I seem to think of a lot of women players being lesbians.
Oh,
So maybe is it more prevalent in the male community that it's an issue?
It's interesting because, no, you go first.
Well, say, first of all, yay, sports ball. Second of all, we have Billie Jean King and Martina and Gigi Fernandez. There is not a single openly gay male tennis player, not one.
I'm sorry, were you talking about almost without exception, the NFL, the ABA,
the NBA,
exactly.
hockey,
and folks that come out after the fact when they're not playing anymore.
Right.
What comes
when they retire.
what comes to mind is a certain ex-football player that you and I were were blessed to meet a couple weekends ago, and his commentary about what could have happened to him on the field if he would have been out.
He would have been hunted, was his words.
Quote unquote. That's exactly what he said, and that makes me think that a lot more players are in that way.
But with tennis being just a one-on-one sort of sport,
not a team sport.
there's less of a threat of somebody being ripped to shreds on a field.
Well, I think that male athletes, they have high levels of testosterone running through them. And, I think that I'm very pleased to see that some of the major sports associations are, coming out in support of LGBT players and whatnot. The work really is with the players themselves.
Can I make a thread connection, a story that we were going to tell today, but we didn't because we wanted to report on this one, is there's a new survey in LGBT that specifically gay boys and men are not, and I thought of you instantly, Greg, in your sports wall, laughing in my head about your sports wall, that they do not embrace sports. And the reason that the numbers are very high among gay boys leading to adulthood do not embrace sports is because they're fearful of the harassment and rejection that they will get in sports.
I get that.
And so it's a chicken or the egg issue in sports. Does the sporting organizations in elementary, middle school, high school, college, and then professional get better to embrace LGBT, or what comes first to make it more accessible? And that's, I think, the big issue that we'll see from this report. And remember, we're only reporting that the survey is happening, not what the results are.
I'm
You can be
looking forward to
assured
that, yes.
you can be assured that we're going to report those at Queer News tonight.
Absolutely.
Yes.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.